Hi, in this video we're going to look at the new multi-server and remote server management capabilities of Windows Server 2012 and specifically the new Server Manager. Now the new Server Manager provides a simplified focused view of configuration, events, alerts and performance of our Windows servers. It also provides an easy way to deploy roles and features in my environment. Now let's quickly have a look at the new Server Manager dashboard as part of Windows Server 2012. The great thing about this is it provides me a quick glance view of the health of all my roles and servers as part of my Windows Server infrastructure. So you can see here, these are my roles and server groups that are out of the box with Windows Server 2012. And I know that I have one Active Directory server and 3 Hyper-V servers. I also know that any of these server groups that are green, generally the health of these server groups is good. But any server group that's red, I know that that's a problem. I can quickly glance and understand here that I have an error in manageability and also have an error in services. I can quickly delve into those by clicking on that, understand here that the Windows Firewall service is stopped on my Server 6, and instead of having to visit Server 6, I can just click Start Service here. It will automatically start that service up, and you can see that's cleared from my All Services view. Again, gives me very simplified multi-server management. I can also clear alerts as part of this as well. So if I look at the performance alert on my Active Directory roles here, I understand that this is a memory performance alert. So I do know that the memory associated with this server is getting near its limit, but I don't want to have to the system keep reminding me about this. I can hide this alert to acknowledge that I understand it, clear that, and now I know that any new alerts will be immediately shown and I can action those as part of this view. I can also create my own views by clicking Create Server Group, and actually brings multiple servers together in my own administrative groups as part of the Server Manager tool. Now the great thing about the Server Manager tool is I not only can do local server administration, I can also do multiple server administration as well. So for example here, I can choose single servers and understand the events, roles and services associated with those. But I can also choose multiple servers, in this case all the servers in my infrastructure, and look at all the events, the services, any best practice analysis. I can look at performance counters and in fact configure performance alerts based on those performance counters across each of these servers in the organization. And I can also look at the roles and features associated with each of these servers. Plus it's easy for me to filter based on what I need. So for example, if I only need to look at event 8200, I can filter on this information and it will show me any of the 8200 events across these servers. And then for example, what I can do is I can actually save this query to be reutilized through this tool again and again. It's easy for me to customize my own administration approach. Now one great new feature is the ability to do role-based administration. So for example, we have all the tools associated with role-based administration available in our tools drop-down. However, if you right-click on any of your servers, it will actually bring up those role-based tools in association with that server. So for example, we know that Server 06 is a Hyper-V server. However, if I right-click on my domain controller, you can see that it brings up all the domain controller tools associated with that server. The great thing here is when I choose an administration tool, for example Windows PowerShell, it's actually administering that server. So it will automatically connect to that server as needed, and I'll be able to administer that server centrally from this single tool. Now the last thing I want to show you is how simple it is to add new roles and features to any server in your Windows Server 2012 infrastructure. And you can do this a number of ways. You can right click on each of your servers and click on Add Roles and Features. You can do this from the Quick Start menu, or you can actually do this from the Manage drop down. And when you're adding a new role or feature, it's going to ask you how you want to deploy this, whether you want to deploy it on the physical server or in a VDI or AppV related environment. And then which server do you want to deploy this role to? So I simply choose the server I want to deploy the role to, and I can even deploy out to a virtual hard disk. So this really gives me the ultimate flexibility in multi-server management in the way that I'm going to deploy new roles and new features to any server in my organization from my central Server Manager dashboard client. So hopefully you've seen some great new features in the Windows Server 2012 Server Manager dashboard. We've really just scratched the surface of the great new things this tool can do. Thank you.